Hello everyone, hope all of you are fine, doing well. And today I have come here with another video of mobility and immobility. This is the video part 4 which talks about the hazards associated with immobility. Immobility hazards. Because of the conditions like injury or illnesses, the person may go for immobility. When it go for immobility, various systems are affected. So let's see what are the systems affected. Cardiovascular system, respiratory system, musculoskeletal system, metabolic processes, gastrointestinal system, urinary system, integumentary system, and also the psychological outlook. So now we have come to the first system, that is the cardiovascular system. The problems which can occur because of the immobility in the cardiovascular system are your increased cardiac workload, venastasis, and orthostatic hypotension. So increased cardiac workload. Why cardiac load is increased? Because during the immobile period, the skeletal muscles which usually help the blood vessels to flow back to the heart normally is in case of immobility it is not working. In case of mobility it will work and it will help the heart valves to contract and send the blood back to the heart, whereas in case of immobility these are not much working, and because of which the cardiac workload is more. Again, the condition is venastasis. Now what is venastasis? It is a condition of slow blood flow in the veins and usually it occurs in the legs, and the symptoms are like increase the size of the leg. You can see in the arrow mark I have shown you the swelling of the leg. So this is venastasis. Now why it happening? So normally what happens, the muscular activity that helps the blood to move towards the central circulatory system from the legs, but because of the immobility the muscular activity is not adequate and thus there is slow blood flow in the veins and this lead to venastasis. Okay. Again, this venastasis also can lead to thrombus formation or also known as blood clot formation. Now why this occur? Because of this immobility the calcium leaves the bone and it enters the bloodstream, and when it enters the bloodstream it influences the blood coagulation and thus it leads to thrombus formation and also we known as DVT. Okay, deep vein thrombosis. Now the third is the orthostatic hypotension. So what is hypotension? We all know it is the less blood pressure. Orthostatic hypotension is a condition in which the blood pressure falls significantly when stand up quickly. If you are sleeping, if the person is sleeping or if the person is sitting but suddenly it stand up, then the BP usually falls and the main symptom usually dizziness or fainting, and this is the condition also occur because of immobility, and due to prolonged bed rest the blood vessel will take much longer time to respond to this change of position and leading to low blood pressure. So now we have come to the respiratory system. So respiratory system, in the hazards are usually decreased ventilator efforts and increased respiratory secretions. So usually what happen here, immobility cause less oxygen demand by the body cells, so the efforts, ventilatory efforts are also less, and at the same time the movement of the secretions in the respiratory tract is decreased. So this cause to pulling of secretion, or you can say the simple way, the secretions are accumulated, and because of this there is increased respiratory secretions. Now next system is very important system in case of immobility is the musculoskeletal system. So effect of musculoskeletal system we can see in patients with immobility, or we can say the patients who are mostly confined to bed for prolonged period of time. So the hazards can occur like decreased muscle size, or we can say atrophy, even the decrease in tone or strength, then less joint mobility and flexibility, then limited endurance. So endurance means the tolerance level, that means activity tolerance, then bone demineralization. So that above 3, that is the decreased muscle size, tone and strength, then less joint mobility and flexibility, limited endurance, all this lead to contracture. So contracture usually the conditions where there is stiffness of the musculoskeletal system or the joint occurs, and which will lead to problems in doing the activities of daily living. So you can see in the picture. Again, there is also problem with the bone demineralization. Now what is this? So because of the usual activities that a healthy person do, because of the stress and strain of the weight bearing activity, it stimulates the bone formation. Okay, it stimulates the bone formation. At the same time, it also cause bone destruction. So it is a normal process of formation and destruction when the person is doing its normal activity. However, the formation of the bone slows while the breakdown increases in case of immobility. So bone formation becomes slower, but the breakdown it continues to increase, and because of which there is loss of bone calcium and also the phosphorus and also some of the bone matrix, and this lead to spongy bone, or also we can say as osteoporosis. So this is one of the hazards related with your musculoskeletal system. Now we have come to the metabolic processes. So when we are talking about the immobility, so because of immobility there is less energy requirement by the body, and also the cellular demand for oxygen is also less, which in turn lead to decrease in metabolic rate. Whereas in many immobilized patients the metabolic rate is, although it is less, but there is some time because of some fever, trauma, chronic illness or poor nutrition can actually increase the body's metabolic rate. So you can see here in the yellow circle I have put decreased metabolic rate because the energy consumption is less, but in the blue I have also kept increased body's metabolic demand. Why? Because of some of the conditions like fever, trauma, chronic illnesses, poor nutrition that increase the body's metabolic demand. Again, it also increase the catabolism. Now what is catabolism? Catabolism is a process where there is breakdown of body's protein stores to provide energy to meet the body's energy requirement. So it depends upon the patient's condition. Sometimes the metabolic process rate is decreased, sometimes it is increased, and also sometimes it leads to catabolism. Now the gastrointestinal system, because of the immobility, the hazards that we can find out in gastrointestinal system are decreased food intake. Of course there will be decreased food intake, also there will be poor digestion, utilization of the food, and at the same time this will also can lead to constipation. Now the system that we are going to discuss is the urinary system. So usually because of the prolonged bedridden conditions, the kidney and ureters are at the same level. Okay, so kidney and ureter are at the same level, so which cause or which leads to urine remain in the renal pelvis itself for a longer period of time, and this can cause urinary stasis, or urinary stasis is also known as urinary retention. So normally what happens, because of the gravity, urine moves easily, okay, easily into the ureter and the bladder, but in case of bedridden condition they is to be in the same level, and so it is difficult, and this will lead to urinary stasis or urinary retention. Again, because of the urinary stasis, it favors the growth of bacteria that when present in sufficient quantities it cause UTI or urinary tract infections. Also there is a chances of renal calculi. So because of the immobility it leads to renal calculi, or you can say the kidney stone, which are the consequence of high level of urinary calcium. So now we have come to the integumentary system, or you can say the skin. Immobility can also lead to various hazards in the skin, like serious skin breakdown to severe pressure ulcer can occur. You have, I think, seen pressure ulcer, or commonly we can say bed sore or decubitus ulcer in the patients with immobility, in the patients who are prolonged bedridden, who have not gone for any back care, position changing. Those kind of patients you will be observing this kind of pressure ulcer or decubitus ulcer. And lastly we have come to the psychological outlook. So your immobility is not only causing difficulty in your physical or physiological system, but at the same time the psychology is also affected. So person feel, it's a feeling of worthless. They feel I cannot do anything, I am worthless. Also self-esteem is diminished, because every time you have to depend on someone for your basic activities of daily living. Also there is a disturbed sleep pattern and many more problems. So these are certain hazards associated with immobility according to the different systems. Hope you have understood well. So we have come to the work for home. So please go for this. This is a very simple way you can do it. Work from home. What are the hazards of immobility? Define the term: vena stasis, urinary stasis, orthostatic hypotension, contracture, osteoporosis and pressure ulcer. So here I have come to the end. Thank you so much. Please let me know what are the different topics you want to hear from me. Thank you once again.